The Joe Rogan Experience.
So what do you do now in terms of like you got over this 5 years ago, you're in this bad situation where your body's not working right. Now everything's working great again.
Well, I had 2 heart surgeries also.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, you know.
What was wrong with your heart?
So I had a hole in it. So, you know, you're not supposed to have a hole in your heart and be a SEAL. And
Were you born with it?
I was born with it. It went undetected. And me pushing so hard. So in 2009, I was training for this race across America. And I just couldn't go anymore. Another pitfall in my life was the hole. And I was pretty much off active duty SEAL for 3 years. You know, I had 2 heart surgeries, them trying to fix it. So the hole was significantly large.
Like how big?
They say it was as big as a quarter. I'm like, how the hell is it as big as a quarter? Yeah, that's a pretty big hole in your heart. Because they had 2 helix patches. I'm like, that's impossible. The helix patches, they're in my heart, so the 2 stents.
What is a helix patch?
It is like a little mesh, very...
Like what they do for hernias? Like something like that?
Maybe something like that. So they went up through my femoral artery, and they placed this patch. But
they go through your artery?
Yeah, they went through my femoral artery. Yeah.
Like with a camera?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So no, the camera was down through my throat.
Whoa.
And they put this catheter through my femoral artery that went to my heart. They went and they took this helix patch, they placed it in there, and then they found out 6 months later that the hole wasn't covered up enough yet. Because the hole was just, and the helix patch was very damn big. So they go back in there in 2010.
How does the patch adhere to your heart?
I guess your heart heals around the patch.
So, but how did they stick it in place?
I guess they put it where the hole's at.
Uh-huh.
And then it kind of like inflates.
Oh, wow.
Where the hole is at. And then that thing goes in there, and then it kind of covers the hole, and then the heart. So there's 2 things in my heart right now that the heart just kind of covered up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's it.
So there you go.
Jamie's got an image of it for us. Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's attached to this little probe.
Right.
And then they put it over the area where the injury is. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, atrial septum defect is what I had. Atrial septal defect. So basically, everything I had done,
Thank God for medicine.
Oh, shit. It's
crazy what they could do.
I'd be done.
That's so crazy that they could do that.
Yeah, so I was out for, I was off active duty for 3 years, so I was in a recruiting area for 3 years, trying to get back on active duty, and that was my life for 3 years, man.
So they put that patch in.
Yep.
And now your heart's 100%?
It's 100%. It's 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was losing, blood, and I was bad off.
Which is amazing that you were able to do all that with a hole in your heart.
That's what the doctors were saying, because they didn't know I was a SEAL. So when I went in, and the doctor that found the hole, so they gave me EKGs, all this stuff. Once again, man, it's after I ran like 205 miles,
Right.
Like, man, you're in great shape. I'm like, man, I just don't feel good. Like walking up the stairs is making me jacked up. So the doctor, Doc Shrek, he's like, gave me EKG. He goes, go to the doctor, get an echocardiogram. So I'm in there getting an echocardiogram, just chilling out in there, and the guy's talking to me, has this little wand in my heart. We're bullshitting about stuff, and when people get quiet, that's fucking not good, man. Yeah. So he's in there, just had this wand in my heart, chilling out. Yeah, man, what are you doing? Yeah, what's going on? I'm like, and he says, I'll be right back. He goes and gets a doctor. Doctor comes in, puts the thing on my heart. The doctor gets another doctor. Now, I'm just freaking the fuck out. I'm like, okay, because when it comes to your heart,
right,
it's a big deal. So they come back in, they say, hey, we can stop the echocardiogram. We need to talk to you out in the hallway. You have a hole in your heart. And the guy didn't know that he knew I was a Navy guy, but I don't think he knew I was a SEAL, because not many black guys are SEAls. And we had a conversation about, we got to fix this real quick. I said, yeah, then I came up that I was a SEAL. He said, man, you could have died jumping, you could have died diving, you could have died in all this stuff. Because basically, the hole in your heart, if it gets plugged with something, like anything, like, let's say you get a bubble from diving or something like that, you're going to die.
Right.
So I call it luck. I call it luck.
Wow.
So I got through 2 surgeries. They put me back on. I lost.
So they give you the first one,
Yep.
and then when did they realize that it's not good enough?
So they take you back in. You got to get a bubble study, a bubble test. So they like literally send bubbles that way, safe bubbles that way, to see if the bubble goes through your heart. So they have this echocardiogram again, and they hook you up, I think, to IV or something like that, and they throw these bubbles through your heart, and they see if it goes through. After 6 months, when it should have been healed up, the bubble went through. So they had to tell me then, hey, we gotta, you're not good to go. So I had to take a year before I can have another surgery, because
Why do you have to take a year?
because that patch had to be completely healed before they can go back in.
But all this time, you knew you had a hole.
Right. So they knew I had a hole because of the heart surgery.
Right, but all this time, like when you're waiting for it to
Yes.
heal, you know you have an extra hole.
Yes, I know I have a hole. Yes.
What were you allowed to do with your body then?
Well, at that time, they go, do how you feel comfortable. And so, the hole's not going to kill you right now, but you can't dive, you can't jump. I pretty much wasn't a SEAL anymore, so I was a recruiter for a period of time. So basically, I was crazy about that is before my second surgery, I was actually training for Delta Force. I wanted to go to Delta, and I was ruck running a lot. And before my second
When you ruck running, you mean you're running with a pack on?
yeah, a pack on my back with some weight on
How
it.
heavy is the pack?
50, 60 pounds.
And you run with that on?
Well, you're supposed to hike or hump, like ruck humping.
Right.
I ran with it because that's what I did.
Right.
So the day of heart surgery, I did a ruck run
Jesus
because
Christ.
I knew I was gonna be out of commission for a while. So fuck it, man. I gotta get my last one in, dude.
Jesus Christ.
So all I could do, I have my training log. So after my second heart surgery, all I could do was walk. So I became an ultra walker.
Wow.
Fucking walked my fucking ass off, and over a period of time, it took a year for that thing to heal up and to heal. My first bubble study after my second heart surgery came back negative or positive. The bubble went through again,
Oh, no.
and they're going to have to crack me open.
Oh, man.
But over that period of time, my heart healed around that thing nicely, and I passed the second bubble test.
So the first bubble test was how long after? A year?
It was so the first bubble test after the first surgery was
Right.
6 months.
And then you had to go through a full 6 months after that for it to
Right.
totally heal. Then you have the second heart surgery.
Right.
And when does the bubble test fail after the second heart surgery?
It was about 6 months.
Jesus Christ.
And they said, and the doctor looked at me and said, I'm sorry to inform you, man, we have to crack your chest open the next time to really get in there. And so I sat back thinking this could be a third heart surgery. And then
that one.
they said we have to wait for 6 months to see if this thing's going to close up.
Right.
And I came back thinking, man, I'm about to get cracked the fuck open. And that bubble got pinned up, man.
Wow.
Didn't go through.
Maybe force it through with your mind.
I know, right?
Pulls that bitch up. When you're visualizing.
That's it, man.
That's something to visualize. Holy shit, man. That is crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy you went on a ruck run with a hole in your heart, too.
Well, I did it for several years, so I said, fuck it. I might as well keep on going, man.
That's amazing. Now, after all said and done, everything's good now?
Yeah, I'm sure something must have popped up in my fucking ass not to do that. Everything's good right now. I'm always waiting for the next thing to pop up, and I handle it the same way. I always attack it. But yeah, as of right now, I'm in the best shape. I'm 43 years old, just turned 43 February 17th. I am in the best shape of my life. I'm not knocking on wood because life comes at you, dude. So
Right.
fuck knocking on wood. Come at me.
I mean, I would think that you would be a go-to guy for injuries.
Yeah.
Like if anybody's
I had them all, dude. I've had them all. I've had
Well, when
them
you
all.
broke the world record for chin-ups, didn't you rip your arm apart?
Pull-ups, yeah. So if you pull up the picture, man, there's a picture of my hand. You'll see, I don't know.
What is it? Pull-ups are
So pull-ups are here.
hands out,
Yeah, hands out.
and chin-ups are hands forward.
Right, hands forward. So I fell 3 times. I fell twice before I finally got it the third time. And the first time I ripped the shit out of my forearm, and then the second time you'll see there's a picture of my hand, and it's a 3rd-degree burn. So that's my hand.
Oh, Jesus, man. What in the fuck is going on? It looks like you got bit by a wolf.
So what's funny about that is you see that that doesn't create after one pull-up. So if you can imagine the pain of, because you have one contact point, that's it. Like running, you can overcome it because you have these big giant legs, and
Right.
it's different when you have these little fragile punk ass hands touching the bar.
Right,
Right. Imagine 4,030 pull-ups. How many times you're coming on that bar, coming off?
Right.
And I weighed 207 pounds at the time. So I was a bigger guy. I'm like 195 or 185 now. So I was 22 pounds heavier. So I was a lot bigger there. I am right there.
Yeah,
Bam.
you look pretty thick.
Get that shit, man.
So you were doing it in sets of 5?
Sets of 5. So, and as you see, you have these different people who are witnessing you. You have to have your number there to make sure that you're, qualified for the Guinness Book of World Records. That's 1450. I have a long way to go. I have another 4,015 pull-ups to go right there.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
And how long did you do this over? 24 hours?
It was 7. So I broke it at 17.
Wow.
And I was fucking over it.